Before we begin this video, if you're interested in my streams, I have recently started streaming quite a fair bit over on Twitch. So go ahead and check that out via a link in the description at twitch.tv/Fizhy. But without further ado, let's get into the video. What is the beast going to be then? It's Easter, so it's little bunny.
This must be the work of the beast.
Alright, okay, maybe it's not a little bunny.
Has been gutted in a way I've never seen before.
Really?
The beast must have talons or claws.
Oh, help! Anyone! Save me from that monster!
Yeah, mate.
Easy, friend. I'm here to slay the beast of the woods.
Oh, thank the gods. I was certain this would be my end.
Tell me, where's the beast gone?
Well, it's there. Do you not see it?
You're taking the f***ing piss. Assassin's Creed Valhalla's Ostara festival is a temporary event happening in Ravensthorpe, the settlement in-game, right now. And if we're to compare it to the Yule festival that came before it, well, one's snowy and one's not, so it's the same event again. I hardly expected anything good, considering Assassin's Creed Valhalla's post-launch content is actually rapidly moving towards being worse than Odyssey's ever was, despite that being far from remotely good either. At this point, I've made a lot of videos talking about Valhalla's poor post-launch content. The microtransactions and all the stuff that the store seems to be getting by comparison to actual content players were promised in the post-launch for one is appalling. How Season Pass holders have so far received the grand total of fuck all. They got some bear armor on launch and an extra mediocre quest to do. That makes it okay. And well, when it comes to actually releasing content in this post-launch content support, that actual content has come up to be a whole lot of nothing. The Yule Festival was a fine way to maybe spend 30 minutes, but wasn't really worth wasting time on beyond that. And then there's the River Raids, which if I were to compare to anything, well, it's a bit like having a sad wank. It's a bare-bones minigame that doesn't really have gameplay good enough to actually feel fun. You're not enjoying yourself, but it kills time if you have nothing else to do. I won't presume to speak for you. If you enjoyed it, then more power to you. But I just found the entire thing to be vapid. And that brings us to the Ostara Festival, in which you do everything you did in the Yule Festival, but again. I didn't make a video dedicated to the Yule Festival, so allow this to double up, because it might as well, as for the most part, the Ostara Festival and Yule Festival are exactly the same. Before we get into the main meat of this video, I'd like to kill a couple of points before people spew them in the comments section, because when I read them, God save me, I just want to take a bath with my toaster. Firstly, if you don't like it, don't play it is a poor point, as I'd have to play it to know if I like it or not. Furthermore, I've been a fan of Assassin's Creed since Assassin's Creed 1, and when I see the state of the franchise now, I feel all those years of investment being pissed on. So you can bet that when I'm not happy with something, I'm going to talk about it. Secondly, a lot of people like to argue that it's free. No, it's really not. Valhalla was marketed with the promise of a post-launch support roadmap full of content. This is a selling point of the $60 price tag that the game had. This is not surprise extra on top of a $60 game, it's a part of a product that was sold to us. Even if it was free, let's draw a comparison. If I pumped out a low effort video like the Drivel content I made back in 2013, you guys wouldn't like it at all. Even when something's free, it's okay to have a standard, and it's also okay to openly talk about it. Let's properly dive straight into this topic now. There's a few points I'd like to raise, and the lazy design philosophy Ubisoft has adopted is only part of it. But that's where we'll start. For the most part, the Ostara Festival is the Yule Festival without snow. You have a fight pit where you can fight people and see how long you last, or at least until the game crashes. You have the twirling targets on the bridge where you shoot targets to get a high score, and I mean that's actually pretty satisfying, surprisingly. Not that I've got much interest in lingering whenever I do it. You've got a handful of brief quests to complete, and then there's a drinking challenge, which is weird considering this you can do at lots of places in the open world anyway, and this isn't even especially challenging. And all these activities are here to let you grind for some new unmemorable in-game currency that's been made up for these festivals. The festival token or whatever they're called. With these rewards, you can go to Norvid's shop and purchase decorations for Ravensthorpe in the theme of the event that the festival's about. Ostara is Easter oriented and Yule was like Christmas. On top of this, there's always the odd thing that catches your eye. But for a game that doesn't like you hanging around in its open world, the decor rewards are particularly useless because you won't stick around and notice them even if you take time to put them up. But it's okay because you can get the colourful raven skin and fly off into the distance as a rainbow of sadness. It's very obvious that any events like this in the future will just have the same layout. You've got your fights, you've got your twirling targets, and you've got your drinking, which I guess would be fun if this game happened to be remotely immersive, but honestly I wouldn't say that it is. It doesn't feel like you're in this world, you feel like you're on it. I get that they're timed events, so there's almost a benefit from them not being unique. More players get to experience the same thing this way, but I think to myself, why make these timed events at all if they're not going to be fun and new? Rehashing the same event with a new paint job isn't twice the content, it's just the same content again in disguise. The exception of course being the quests, though I do have issues with those as well. One just has you go around redecorating the settlement with whatever you want, related to the festival or not, something a lot of players would have been doing anyway. It doesn't auto-complete, you have to go interact with these spots and leave without changing a thing until the checklist fills and then it completes. So this nothing content quest is pretending to be more than it is by making you do something you've already done, and won't register whether or not you've done it already just to waste your time. Whether this was accidental or deliberate, it's lazy either way. Disrespecting the player's time is hardly something new to Valhalla. That being said, this is a very obvious example of it. The other two quests have two separate issues. One quest has you go around Ravensthorpe lighting braziers for a ritual, which you then go and perform only to be attacked by spirits? With no explanation whatsoever, which is funny when the game is supposedly sci-fi, not fantasy. It's gotten away with fantasy elements up until now with sci-fi explanations, but this one just doesn't have one. I get that it's intended as a bit of fun, but it completely undermines the universe that was sold to me with Assassin's Creed 1, though it's hardly the most insulting example in recent years. Maybe the explanation is, oh, Eivor got high again, because that one's not expired, or maybe it's just not canon altogether, and if that's the case, then what was the point in doing it to begin with? Now, the other quest is the one that thoroughly takes the mick. The quest begins with you finding a crown for forgettable nobody number 164 in Ravensthorpe, which you have to do by hunting a beast. You find a dead bear on this hunt which has clearly been massacred. Soon after you find a bloke who says he's seen the beast, which then reveals itself to be, wait for it, a chicken. My reaction was the intro to this video. This is funny, however I'm laughing at you Ubisoft. Not really with you. Assassin's Creed's logic has never necessarily been 100% serious in the sense that the base concept is ridiculous and there's always been an injection of humour here and there. Origins at times pushed this by making every other person Bayek meta blithering idiot, but that's nothing compared to what Odyssey and Valhalla have done. They're taking the piss with the idea of a chicken being able to take down a bear. Yes, we even have to fight it. It's a vicious chicken with a very difficult boss fight that took me a mighty 4 swipes of my giant wizard sword to chef it up into a KFC bargain bucket. This complete removal of logic is insulting to the tone of Assassin's Creed and its pure inconsistency. Your game either takes itself seriously and stays true to itself or it doesn't. You can't have it both ways, and it feels like that's exactly what's being attempted with this game. Furthermore, annoyingly, the joke isn't even original. They did the exact same thing in Odyssey, in the quest A Really Really Bad Day, which was also a part of the post-launch content. Now, it was a really bad quest that also completely shat on the tone of Assassin's Creed by using the Origins concept that everyone who isn't the player is thick as pig shit, turning it quickly into a Monty Python-styled wild goose chase. Except the goose is a fake eagle that turns out to be a chicken, which then tries to kill you. Why are they reusing a chicken as a comedic device in Assassin's Creed Valhalla? How does that chicken kill a bear? This is just there to take the piss out of the pre-established logic of Assassin's Creed's universe. As my friend James or Lasers put it, it's like Ubisoft are actively giving old Assassin's Creed fans the middle finger, and intended or not, that's certainly the effect. Another quest has you run around Ravensthorpe finding Easter eggs. There is a riddle that supposedly helps you find them, but I just ran around the settlement using Odin's sight and being drawn to any green pulses, and I found them pretty quickly. I get that this is supposed to be a fun hunt, but I honestly don't understand how. You run around the settlement picking up shit. Sometimes it's placed in spots that you wonder how on earth it got up there, and once you found them all, you return to the quest giver to get a bit of experience, and, well, that's it. You also get to fight the quest giver in the ring, because of course I'm an epic Viking and I need to spark him out to assert dominance. To me, this speaks volumes about how Ubisoft sees us, about how they see Assassin's Creed. They think we're stupidly easy to please, so they give us nothing content and call it post-launch content. They think we're stupid and won't remember them reusing jokes, basically throw the same event at us a second time and call it something new and throw in side quests that echo the utter state of this bastardized brand. What I'm trying to say is Ubisoft doesn't respect Assassin's Creed at all. and this festival is yet another example of that fact being blatantly obvious. Valhalla's post-launch content has really been a dumpster fire. Regurgitated content isn't content at all. I get that the festivals come and go, but if all they're going to include is the same nonsense time and time again, maybe it's just worth not doing at all. Assassin's Creed deserves better than this. As for the main DLC, we've now got a release date for Wrath of the Druids, which is coming in at the end of April on the 29th. I can't say I'm necessarily looking forward to it because the sheer quantity of garbage that's been thrown out since this game launched has bogged down any positive thoughts that I've had. And so that's my opinion on the Ostara festival for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't really want to go into much more about this because honestly, there's just nothing more to be said. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed or it's at least been helpful in some capacity. Be sure to go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, share the channel with your friends and all that wonderful stuff. That would be super fantastic. And if you happen to be interested in joining me over on Twitch for some streams, then there will be a link in the description for that as well. It's really chill over there and we've been having a lot of fun, so definitely come join us if you want in on that. Anyway, I will be seeing you all very soon with another video at some point, but until next time, take care and goodbye.